More than 50 church leaders have united to argue against same-sex marriage.
They say same-sex unions would change what marriage means and wouldn't protect the interests of children. Reverend David Palmer is from the Committee for the Preservation of Marriage and he joins us now. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. What do you say are the main issues with same-sex couples bringing up children?
Well, I guess what we would say is that ideally, in an ideal world, children should be brought up by their parents, a mother and a father. And that's the basic argument around the children. This is not to say that same-sex couples couldn't be loving parents, but children basically need a mother and a father.
But why? You haven't answered the question. Why do they need a man and a woman?
Well, you have to ask yourself, how are families constructed? How is our society formed? And it's the testimony of history that the basic building block is a man and a woman who make permanent and exclusive commitments to one another, and that kind of relationship is properly fulfilled.
But just to put the same-sex marriage argument to one side, many people grow up without a mother or a father, and they turn out okay.
Yes, what I would say to that is it's sort of a bit like the tail wagging the dog. I mean, there is a central premise there that children are the result of a man and a woman who come together in sexual union out of love for one another, and so children are born in that way. I mean, this is how we constitute
They might need
it.
those two parts to be born.
Yeah.
However, the raising of children doesn't necessarily require those two parties, does it?
Well, we know that divorce occurs. We know that one of the spouses can die early. There's all kinds of things that can go wrong. I mean, people can be infertile and they end up adopting children. But these are exceptions. I mean, let's face it, there are many...
But we're facing escalating divorce rates, mostly, in fact, after people have children. So there are very many people being brought up in fractured households.
To the extent that that is occurring, those children are, by and large, not in every case and to varying degrees, they are missing out. Children do benefit from having both a mother and a father wherever possible. There are things that fathers are gifted in that they can share with their children. Boys need a father, girls need a father as well. And the same with a woman. She brings her own giftings into that family life. So the ideal, it's not always, we live in an imperfect world, but you can't argue from the imperfections of the world to the ideal. You must argue from I mean, how are we made as men and women? What of our natural constitution? I mean, you have a set of lungs, a stomach, you have eyes, etc. And you don't need any inputs from anybody else. But in one respect, in respect of our sexual organs, we need the relationship of a man and a woman, and the purpose of that is for the bringing of children into the world. This is the way we're made.
Do you really believe in the year 2011 in Australia you have the support of the majority of the Australian population when you say to our federal politicians, don't legalise same-sex marriage? In your heart of hearts?
Yes. Thank you, Michael. In my heart of hearts, this is what I think, that if we had a fair debate in society, if we had all sides of the argument being put forward, you see, I would argue that same-sex couples have not proved and are not able to prove that they do have a right to marriage. Now, I think
okay, let's stop you right a bit. Why haven't they proven that? What is wrong inherently between a man and a woman and a woman celebrating their love and getting married?
Well, historically, in all societies at all times, with virtually no exceptions, families are formed through men and women coming together. This is the way we're constituted.
Just very briefly, I just want to ask you, for the first time, the census recognised same-sex couples and same-sex parents. Do you feel that you're fighting a losing battle?
No, I don't think we're fighting a losing battle, but I haven't quite answered Michael's question, I don't think. I think that, let's put it this way, at the present time, our side of the argument, which is traditional marriage, is not getting, we're not getting into the media. If you look at the Fairfax Press, if you looked at the Australian on Saturday, the Australian ran 3 articles on same-sex marriage. I have put in an opinion piece, which to date they've not chosen to publish. I challenge the Australian, given all the articles they put in last Saturday, that they should at least publish my defence of traditional marriage. I think if the government said, right, let's sort it out and have a referendum, let's go that way, and if we had a full public debate where every side had the opportunity to argue their case, I think we would be like California, the most liberal of the American states, when they had same-sex marriage legislated for. When that went to a referendum, the people rejected it.
Okay,
and I think we're like that
You
here.
can't complain about the earring you've got here.
Reverend David Palmer, thanks for coming onto the program and sharing your views with us.
Thank you, Tamara. Thank you, Michael.